Whew, things are about to get a little bit spicy, baby. So apparently, the international audience is closing their wallets to James Gunn's Superman. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Domestically, not so much, but overseas, this movie may have a problem. And I'm going to tell you guys what that problem is. But before I do so, do you borrow 3 major favors? Please hit that subscribe button. Then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification bell because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators has uploaded videos to that platform. Hitting that notification bell certainly helps. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. Now let's get into today's news. First up, China. Now I know many people like to disregard China because a studio only gets to keep 25% of the box office regarding a film. However, in my opinion, every dollar counts. I don't care if you're only getting 25% of the film's box office from that market. Every dollar counts. And not to mention, China is the second largest market in the world. It is only second to that of the United States. However, one can argue that China is number one now. Why I say that? Because films like Nezra 2 is making $1 billion alone in China. I haven't seen a film do that in the domestic market since a James Cameron film. Now, let's get into this. For Thursday, the pre-sales was at $490,000. You heard that correctly. $490,000. For Friday, $446,000. Saturday, the guy who reported this said that he refused to give us a number because it was embarrassing. That's right. Right now, the movie is projected to have an opening weekend of $5 to $9 million. And I know that range is wide, and that is because China as a market, it is kind of funny. Now, for comparison's sake, that is less than half of The Flash and The Marvels. Let me say that one more time, Dr. Umar style. That is less than half of The Flash and The Marvels. Next up is Latin America. Now, they say that it's doing good in Latin America. It should, right? DC always gets good support from Latin America. However, Europe is so-so. Asia is low. It is low. We should have a number coming out in the next few hours or so. And if you remember, Asia was big for the Joker. That is the sole reason why 2019's The Joker made $1 billion. All right, France, 133,000 admissions. Captain America 4 had 105,000 admissions. And Thunderbolts had 80,000 admissions. So that is much better than those two films. However, it is not better than that of Quantumania and that of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. All right, according to Charlie on Twitter and every other news outlet out there, Superman is currently on track for a $100 million opening overseas. No one knows the plus or minus on that, so let's just go with the straight up $100 million. And I want to give you guys a scenario where this film is still a box office flop. Now, let's say Superman earns $325 million domestically. It is totally possible. Yes, it is. It seems to me that a lot of people over here are going to go and see the movie. However, half of that 325 will go to the studio. The other half will go to the theaters. That will give Warner Brothers $162 million, right? Overseas, I'm going to give the film legs of 2.5. Now, people overseas are not enjoying the movie as much as those over here domestically. So let's just say 2.5 off of the $100 million opening. That would give the movie $250 million overseas, half to the studio. 125. Now I know I'm being a little bit generous with that 50%, but I'm just trying to just give you a scenario where this thing just looks worse than what I can explain it to you. All right. So you add the 162 and the 125 together, you will get $287 million. Now I know many people will say, oh, well, the budget was 225 to 250. Let's just say that it was 250. That would give you $37 million in profit, right? At least that's what many people would think. Hell to the no. The studio spent $200+ million on a marketing regarding this film. So the movie earning the studio $287 million would still make it a flop. That's right. And think about it like this. 325 plus 250, that is only $575 million worldwide. So yes, there's a possibility that James Gunn's Superman could miss the $600 million worldwide mark. Now look, I'm not giving you a promise on these numbers that I'm giving you at this moment, but I am just telling you a scenario where there's a high possibility that James Gunn's Superman doesn't change anything for DC Studios or Warner Brothers. I guess many people celebrated too much, right? I had a few of them come in my comment section and say, you got egg on your face. Hell yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, listen, you have to allow the opening weekend to unfold. And that goes for both sides, right? However, personally, I'm giving you the news day by day regarding this film's box office. And I know you may say, oh, why are you concerned? I'm a DC fan. I am going to watch this thing like an eagle with a magnifying glass. That's right. I want to know if they were justified in rebooting the Snyderverse. I got to know. And I feel that if this film does earn $575 million worldwide while simultaneously losing money or barely making money, that tells me that it was not justified in rebooting the DC universe. They could have just kept what they had, especially if we're going to be comparing this thing to the likes of the Flash and the Marvels, huh? So the weekend cannot get over quick enough for your boy O. I'm having a time with this one. I am. I know for a fact many people out there may feel like I'm being repetitive with this topic, but hell, it's Superman week. What the hell did you think? There's no news bigger than this right now, so I will be covering it. But I will let you know that this is going to be my last box office update up until I actually watch the film and we get those proper numbers coming out of the weekend. But I want to let you know, do not be surprised if this thing doesn't open as big as many people out there who's lying about the film is expecting it to be. Trust me when I tell you, there's still a high possibility that this thing could be a massive flop. I'm your boy O. Hopefully you'll watch this video all the way to the end, help you out that algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, please be sure to do so. Trying to reach that big number of 100,000 subs. So I'll be highly appreciative. You will help me cross over that threshold by hitting that subscribe button. Then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators has uploaded videos to that platform. Hitting that notification bell certainly helps. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. But in the comments below, after hearing these numbers regarding the overseas markets, do you believe that the audiences has closed their wallets to that of James Gunn's Superman, or do you believe they will eventually open it up? As of right now, it seems like people are not feeling this movie. And always remember, let the love on time roulette. That means let the good times roll. But let me know in the comments below.